Good morning, my dearest, dearest friends. What a day this is. It's absolutely gorgeous. We're in the Pacific Northwest here, and it's absolutely beautiful, beautiful day. I don't know, sometimes we went to the breakfast table this morning, and my dear daughter Chauncey and my soon-to-be son-in-law Tyson fixed the most beautiful breakfast. And as we sat down to eat, I could feel a certain light across the table and between us that was so beautiful. It's Mother's Day. It's the day we celebrate moms. And I want to talk just a minute about that because today's talk is about being a healer and a comforter. And that's the nature of moms. It's the nature of mothers. Now I want to just segue away from that for just a minute. Some of you out there in the world are saying, well, if you think healing and comforting is the nature of moms, you must not have known my mother because she was anything but healing and comforting. Let me address that right off the bat. Our mothers come into this world, innocent babies, and they become formed by their experiences, by the people that raised them. And sometimes they don't get the best breaks. And so sometimes they become pretty protective of themselves and they may even have some negative attitudes. But can we please remember that they came from spirit, they came from holiness, they came from beauty, they came from pure perfection. And because they might have gotten twisted a little bit in this life, they still are our moms. They gave us birth. They didn't have to carry us for 9 months, but they did. They fed us from their breasts. They loved us. They tucked us in. And sometimes later on, we may have become disappointed or discouraged, but they were still healing and comforting us as best they could from their hearts. And for some of us, that was the epitome of life, our relationship with our moms. We always knew that no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you've got a friend in your mom. Your mom's always there. It's their nature, their inclination, their intuition. And it's not only their children, but children everywhere, even adult children that get to feel their motherhood. I'm married to a wonderful, wonderful lady named Mary, who I'm sure a lot of you know. If not, soon you will know her. She is the mother of mothers. She's the mom of moms. She not only mothers our dear daughter Chauncey and her soon-to-be hubby Tyson, but she constantly mothers me. And sometimes I say, you're not my mother. And she says, okay, I'm not your mother, but just button up your pants and button your shirt. So she's still my mother. All good mothers are mothers to everybody. And, you know, it's that boundless, blissful equanimity that gives us the life and joy and wisdom. But the Buddha said, not just enlightened beings, but all the structures of relativity. Listen, he's talking about Einstein. All the structures of relativity. He said, not just the enlightened beings, but all the structures of relativity are dwellers in the boundless, which constitutes the all-embracing love, selfless compassion, sympathetic joy, and blissful equanimity. So we are spiritual beings, part of that vast consciousness. It's the ongoing creation of all things. It's the ongoing creation of all things right here, right now. So I don't know what's going on in your life. Maybe you've got some bills to pay, or maybe you're suffering from COVID, or maybe you've got some friends, or you've lost some friends, or maybe you're financially stressed or stressed regarding your health. Will you just remember that you're a spiritual being, part of that vast consciousness? That's the ongoing creation of all things, right here, right now. And when I say right here, right now, I'm talking about right here, right now. It's not in the past. It's not, that consciousness is not the creative force of yesterday or of tomorrow. That creative consciousness is focused into this exact moment right now. That's the only place it is. Every element of the universe is right here, right now, being made anew, right here, right now, being made anew, because creation didn't happen. Creation didn't happen in 6 days and then on the seventh day we rested. Creation is ongoing. I was a sea captain and a diver and a fisherman out of San Diego for many, many years. And not too long ago, I went back to do an at-sea burial to San Diego. And I was taken out on a boat that I knew. But before I went out, I saw the boats coming in and I saw them unloading fish that the fishermen had caught. They were catching fish that I'd never seen up in those waters before. They were catching mahi-mahi. They were catching bluefin tuna. They were catching fish that I never had seen in those waters before. Creation is ongoing. Nothing is ended. Everything is processed. Everything is moving on. And we're part of that. And if we get stuck in our old attitudes or in our old beliefs, then we're no longer a part of that creative force, of that creative flow. So where we are right now is inside of consciousness, inside of that consciousness and one with it. And when we're not one with that consciousness, when we're not unfolding constantly, our minds changing, saying, oh, I thought it was that way, but now it's this way, and it's okay, I'll let go of the old and embrace the new, and knowing that it'll probably be temporary. When we're not doing that, then we're wandering and searching without finding. Because life and Holy Spirit is a river. It's a river, isn't it? It's a river of grace, isn't it? And it picks us up in the morning when we wake up and it says, here we go. And it starts flowing us down the river. And we have no clue where it's going, if we're being honest. Oh, if we're super controllers, we'll say, yeah, I know where it's going because I'm making it go this way or I'm making it go that way. But if we relax and let the river take us, then what happens is that our natural inclinations and our natural intuition and the spirit of our nature as individual, unique incarnations of Holy Spirit guide us in that river. And we come together with each other, we bounce off of each other, and we love each other. And all of that was born into us through our moms. Through our moms. I'm not putting dads aside. Dads, your day will come up next month, and we'll talk about the incredible miracle that you are inside of your children. But today, it's that mother, it's that in divine grace, that divine spirit. And yes, golly moly, over the last centuries, maybe thousands of years, women have always been second-class citizens. You walk behind me a little bit to the left and you carry everything, and I walk along like I'm the king. But the mothers and daughters, they are the foundation, they are the bedrock of humanity, of the human family. And as a baby deer needs its mother's milk to survive, we need our flow from the source to survive. It's the same thing. The source as our mother, the sustaining milk of life coming from the source. In order to be one with our source, we need to be one with the nature of things, one with the nature of things. In other words, we have to pay attention to what things are. Now, here's how that works. The nature of a thing is shown by its purpose. The nature of a thing is shown by its purpose. Stay with me. A strawberry plant's nature is to produce strawberries, isn't it? The nature of the source of Great Spirit is active, flowing love. So if you're wondering who or what God is, I don't know, you maybe just came on this line saying, oh, we'll find out what these people are talking about. Well, before you jump off into oblivion, let me tell you that the nature of the source of God, of Great Spirit, of Holy Spirit, of the divine presence, of the great mind, of the great creative force that is in the process of creating your apple tree and every single thing in this entire universe and the multiverse. The nature of that source is active, flowing love, not as an emotion, but as an energy, as a frequency filled with information. And the nature of its love, talking about nature now, the nature of its love is healing and comforting. That's the nature of its love. That's the nature of the Holy Spirit's love, of the source's love, of the source's energy, is healing and comforting. I look into the forest. I love the forest. I walk in the forest and I see a tree that's been cracked off and fallen to the ground by wind or whatever. And it's laying on the ground. And I walk along the trunk and I look, and out of the trunk or out of the roots, they're springing new little trees coming up. Healing and comforting. Healing and comforting for all things in this universe. But you and I have choices. The rabbits don't make choices. You and I make choices. That's our nature, is that we can choose. And so the nature of love is healing and comforting, and the nature of healing and comforting is forgiveness. The nature of the source, Great Spirit, is active, flowing love. The nature of its love is healing and comforting. The nature of healing and comforting is forgiveness. And the nature of forgiveness is absolute acceptance. So if you're wondering about forgiveness, and you're saying, I've been trying to forgive this guy, but he got a pain in my butt because of the way he treated me and my family, or stole my money, or betrayed me, or lied to me, or she divorced me and ran off with the butcher's son, or whatever that is. The nature of forgiveness is absolute acceptance. It is the way it is, and it is the way. And what was in the past, the Holy Spirit doesn't live there. God doesn't live there. You don't live there. You live right here, right now. And this is the way it is. And acceptance says it is the way it is. And the comforting and healing that can come to me can only come to me in the present, when I'm right here, right now. And we, as healers and comforters, must have as our own true natures that absolute acceptance. So you are, and I am, a comforter and a healer. But we can't comfort and we can't heal unless we're in acceptance. Somebody calls me on the phone and says, Reverend Bob, my mother just died unexpectedly and I'm just torn apart. The initial thing I have to do is accept that that's exactly what happened. And to work with the acceptance of that within that person who's called me. And we can't be, as healers, in self-loathing or in anger or in revenge or unforgiveness and heal anyone. We have to be in acceptance, and we have to be right now. We must know that all is good, all is God, and all is love. Not all was good, all not was God, all was love. All is good, all is God, all is love. Right now, not what will be, not what will, everything will be good, everything will be God, everything will, no. God is now, everything is good, everything is God. Can you just where you are right now, just see and know that in your heart? All is good, all is God, all is love. And you women out there, God bless you. God bless you. You are our sisters, and you're sisters to each other. And together, I see you get together and you talk. Oh my gosh, men get together and they sort of, so what about them Mariners? What about their Canucks? And you got another one of those? And the conversation is not, in the other room, the women are cackling and laughing and talking about all these different things. They're flowing that healing love and comfort out. Men, we should learn more from them. They're sisters, and everything in our universe is vibration, isn't it? and they're in vibration. Everything is vibration, and everything in our universe is vibrating. Good, God, love. Those are vibrations, and vibrations are frequencies. Vibrations are frequencies, and all frequencies carry information. Call them messages. When I was a singer, and I was in San Francisco, and I was focusing on my career, and it was day and night, day and night. All I did was just focus on my career, and I just was in the city. And a friend said, "I'm going to drive up to Muir Woods. You want to go with me?" I had no idea what Muir Woods was, but we drove up to Muir Woods, beautiful redwood park with the stream running through it. And he said, "I'm going my own way. You go your way." And I walked over to the stream, and I knelt down, and I looked down, and I could see some little tiny trout in the stream. And something started happening to me. And I looked up across the stream at the hill beyond me with the trees, and something changed inside of me. Oh my God. Oh my God. The frequency, the information in that frequency said to me in a loud voice, "Where have you been? Where have you been? We've been here all this time waiting for you. Where have you been?" All the trees, the streams. I was in tears. I knelt at that stream in tears, and I was healed, and I came back home. The same thing happened last week. I've been so busy doing my ministering things. Mary took me for a drive. We drove down to a beach that I'd never been at, and little tiny waves lapping up at the shore, not a big surf. And I walked along. The tide was out. I walked along, and something happened inside of me. Something happened. My soul just relaxed. All is good, all is God, all is love, all is good, all is God, all is love, all is healing, comfort. My sisters in the world, thank you for that. All is good, all is God, all is love.
It's not just accidental that our paths have crossed this way. I believe divine appointment brought us here today, 'cause we all need each other, and we all need a friend. Together we can make it. Together we will stand. I will be my sister's keeper. If you fall, I'll lift you up. And while we walk this road together, I will keep you in my love. When life gets complicated, when faith is lost in fear, sisters stick together through the laughter and the tears. And when you need a shoulder, I will be a friend to carry you, to pray for you until our journey
God will keep us in this love. Little Yora J. Oh, God, thank you so much. Hey, my friends, listen, let's move on. Intention. We're here to create, are we not? We're here to create our realities, and we're here to create beauty in our lives, and we're here to sort of honor the spirit that moves inside of us, the mother spirit and the father spirit and all spirits, but we only create by intention. We only create by intentions. So if we, all of us, guys and gals alike, are going to be creators and healers, then we have to have an intention. The single most important factor in healing the body is intention. Our own bodies are bodies of others. The intention of the healer, more importantly, the intention of the distressed person that's to be healed must be to be healed. And we talked about acceptance. Those who are in need are seldom in acceptance, because if they were in acceptance, they wouldn't be so frantic. Once we get into acceptance, this is the way it is, then pain doesn't become suffering. Pain only becomes suffering when we resist it. But when we flow with it, it's pain. It's an experience. And is it a pleasant experience? No. Is it a positive experience? No. But we have to have both positives and negatives in our lives in order to be balanced, in order to grow in wisdom and joy. So we have pain. So maybe you're in pain right now. Don't let it be suffering. Accept it. Don't fight it. And then next in our healing process, so first, to have intention. Second, to have acceptance. And then third, we listen. Most of the time, those people that we need to be healing only want to be heard and accepted for who they really are, where they are. So we need to be a constant listening friend, to be the person of safety for them. Wasn't that what our moms were for us? And to affirm that their feelings make sense. I know that this is a hard time for you. I know that you're hurting. I hear you. I know that. To affirm that and to not try to cheer them up. Hey, look at it this way. Things could be worse. That's not healing. That's not helping. Ask what errant. This is really important. If you look back over your life at the times when you were really in trouble, when you were really hurting, when somebody hurt you or disappointed you or you got physically hurt, unconsciously, you started making decisions about yourself. We all do that. When I'm counseling somebody, and we go back and look at a time in their life when their father did something, mother did something, friend or lover did something that really hurt them, or when they made a huge mistake and it cost other people something that was really precious to them. The question is, what decisions did you make about yourself at that time? Look back in your own life and go back and remake those decisions. You are pure and holy. I want to tell you something. There is no such thing as divine punishment. There's no place called hell or purgatory. That does not exist. The great God, our mother, father, creator, source, creates only love from love and forgiveness. There is no unforgiveness. The universe has already forgiven you for whatever you've done. Can you forgive this? Because there's no part of you that deserves to be in pain, and no part of you that deserves to be suffering. None. So we must reaffirm our commitment to supporting them and let them know that we've reaffirmed our commitment to them. Children and teens that are in trouble need to know that they're never going to be abandoned. And you can do that. They just need to know somebody's standing there for them. There was a woman in Wisconsin, just as an example, who was battling brain cancer. And a friend of hers moved away down to North Carolina. And she got in the mail a warm, fuzzy bathrobe. Her friend didn't want her to be cold while she was going through chemotherapy. It helped, she said, she felt love every morning. She felt that person's love every morning when she got up. It doesn't take a lot. Simple, just something simple. Remember that the Buddha said, not just enlightened beings, but all structures of relativity are dwellers in the boundlessness, which constitutes the all-embracing love, selfless compassion, sympathetic joy, and blissful equanimity. My dear friend, can you today know that you are love? All of the other things that you think you are just elements of love. Can you surrender to just being the child of God, being love, filled with love, and knowing that you're not watching this service by accident? You've been called by a voice deep in your soul that knows who you are to come and hear a message that will wake up your spiritual wisdom. You are to let yourself be forgiven from within and to be cleansed of self-doubt and self-blame. You're being called because someone needs you to step into the light and to become their healer and comforter right here, right now.
You can play the game and you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. But tell me, how can you stand there with a broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? And one thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Shower the people you love with love and show them the way you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Shower the people you love with love and show them the way you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. And what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself, all alone? Once you tell somebody the way you feel inside, you will feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about that squeaky wheel. Shower the people you love with love and show them the way you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Shower the people you love with love and show them the way you feel. And things are gonna be much better if you only will. Shower the people. Shower the people with love. Make it rain, rain. Make it rain, sweet love. They say into every life the rain must fall. And just like pouring rain, make it rain, sweet love. Oh, shower the people you love with love and show them the way you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Shower the people you love with love Make it rain, sweet love. Rain, love.
We've got coming up next Sunday a talk specifically on abundance. Your abundance is available now, which will be led by Reverend Bob, and definitely one to look forward to as well. We have coming up on Saturday, just a quick reminder, our spiritual wisdom circles. And these are really sacred gatherings where like-minded souls come together and ponder specific spiritual questions. And by reflecting the literally vibrationally and through dialogue with one another, we come to deeper levels of understanding and literally speed our conscious evolution. And so our Q&A starts now. And I just want to make a comment. One item that had been brought to our attention is that maybe some people feel maybe a little shy to post a question in the open chat, and just want you to know that you can, by selecting in the chat window, you can select my name, and only I will see who it comes from. And if it comes directly to me, I will not disclose over the air who provided the question. So even if you're shy, you can still have your question answered by Reverend Bob. So let's turn to Reverend Bob now and begin with our first question. And the first question said, I've been learning about breathing, and we've been teaching breathing on Wednesday nights too. I have discovered when I breathe out consciously, it does seem to remove, probably lessen pain and illness. Can you talk about why this happens?
Thank you. Oh gosh, thank you so much. See, here's the thing. Everything in the world, including the molecules that are in the air, everything is made of grace. That's not just my idea or a really nifty, sacred kind of thought. It's true. It's scientifically true that all energy is in vibrations, and all the molecules, atoms, stuff that are in the air around us, those are all vibrations, and they're in frequency, and all frequency carries information. The information you put into it, when you take a deep breath and then you breathe it out with grace, then your body opens up and becomes more fluent with the grace of God, with relaxation, with comfort and healing. And the ancients tell us, and particularly the people in the East, that the breath is prana, the breath is the grace, it's the chi, it's the presence of the one great soul. So when we breathe in and out just to get oxygen and get rid of CO2, and that's all we're doing, we're not really paying much attention to what air really is and breath really is. So when you breathe in and hold that breath for a moment, let your grace and your beauty into it, and then breathe out, you're breathing out an instrument of healing to the world around you. And it goes out and touches other people. It really does. You have within your body right now subatomic particles that were in the body of Jesus, the Christ, and of the Buddha. You have those within you as we speak. You are holy, you are sacred. The only thing that keeps you from being that truly and totally is your opinion of yourself. And your breath can lead you there. Thank you for that question. I love it.
Our next question comes from Sean. And, the topic of our talk today is a healer and a comforter. That's you. And I think so many of the people that are in our community have no problem with a motivation to heal and to comfort. But Sean asks, what do you do when you give out from your heart and it gets rejected?
You know, this happens so often, and it takes a real strong person to handle that. And see, here's the way that we have to make a change in how we see ourselves, don't we? if we get rejected and say, well, to hell with that. I got rejected, and that means that I'm not going to be able to work with this person, and I'm not. It doesn't mean that at all. It means that that person is in trouble. Troublesome people are people in trouble. People who reject your grace and your love and your kindness are in trouble. They're not only rejecting your kindness and your grace and your love, your healing and your comforting, they're rejecting their own. They're rejecting everybody's because they don't feel worthy, or they feel like they don't trust. There's all kinds of reasoning that we can go in psychologically, clinically reasoning about that. But the truth of it is that it's not my job to get them to be accepting. See, when I'm reaching out with healing and comforting, I'm being in service. I'm being in service. And in service, that means that I'm a servant. I'm a servant of the light. And that means that all of my energy, all of my thoughts, all of my opinions stop at the end of my nose. At the end of my nose. They don't belong to that person that I'm trying to serve or heal. If I become disturbed or angry or hurt because that person doesn't accept my healing love, then I'm become part of the problem too. I have to know that my job is to serve, is to breathe the light and the comfort and the joy and the wisdom into them. That's my job. It's my job. It's not my job to be reactionary about how they do or don't react to that. One of the things I sometimes do is I pick up my phone and I dial a number. I know an area code, so I dial that area code, and I know a prefix, so I dial a prefix, and then I dial 4 numbers. And sometimes the person comes back and says that number's not in service, but eventually I get somebody. And when I get somebody, I say, hello, you don't know me, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm a member of the human race, just like you are. I'm your brother out here in the world. And I just picked your number out of the air. And it's important for me to call you right now and to tell you that I love you and that I appreciate you and thank you for being my brother or sister. Goodbye. And I hang up the phone. What if they say, and sometimes they catch me and they say, I love you too. My God, this is wonderful. I've never had anybody put me down. But what if it put me down? What if the person said, don't call this number again? Blah, 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 blah. Then I'll never call again because I feel terrible. That's none of my business. That's their business. That's not my business. How other people feel about me is none of my business. That's their business. So I must be the giver of love. And if I feel hurt because of the rejection and stand by it, eventually I won't be hurt by the rejection. Eventually that will grow within me and I'll say, it's okay, that's just them. Sean, thank you for that question.
And I'm unmuted, correct? Okay, so our next question comes in the form of a statement, but I want to see if I can turn it into a question. Barbara Lee writes, my dear past mother, happy Mother's Day. And regarding my dear past mother, I light a candle. She gave, for all she gave me and continues to give me. And Bob, I'm turning this into a question and saying, when we take a moment in contemplation and prayer and light a candle for someone who has departed, do you think that they can feel it?
Oh my goodness. What a wonderful question. There is no such thing as death. Gosh, I just wish we could all get that. I just wish we could all get that. We transform our planet if we could get that. There's no such thing as death. We were never born. We will never die. We're temporarily in these bodies. And when we leave these bodies, we're every bit as conscious and every bit as aware as we are now. In fact, probably more so because we're not being drugged down by our opinions and our beliefs. We're absolutely sacred. Every one of us. We are inside of the great sea, the great mind of God. Each one of us. And we have been there eternally and will be there eternally. And my mama, Bless you, Mama. I know you're right here, right now. My mama knows that exactly what I'm doing. She's right here with me all the time, and so is yours. And so when you light a candle to anyone, you're saying, I feel you inside of me. I bless the grace that you are inside of me. You have not gone away from me. I send my love and my grace to you in the light of this candle. Oh boy, yes. Lighting a candle to someone is a beautiful thing to do. Thank you. Thank you.
Our next question comes from Yuda, and I think it's a wonderful question in light of our topic today, being a comforter and a healer. How do you listen with loving kindness without ending up supporting someone's self-defeating belief system? People generally seem to want you to accept their view of the world. And I do know that they are where they are, and that's all right for them, but it seems to just leave them stuck in their egoic identity.
And Uta, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. I can counsel people and they say nothing's working in my life, and my husband is this bum, and I'm sick and tired of him. I don't even think I love him anymore. And not only that, but I just found out that I've got a lump in my breast. And, don't tell me life's going well, because my life is not going well, period. And I can talk to that person for a while, and then they end up saying, you haven't helped me at all. Boom. And the conversation said, that's their world. That's not my world. That's their world. I can come to a child who's ragged and dirty on the street with a brand new double-decker chocolate chip and chocolate ice cream cone and hand it to him or her. And if they won't take it, that's up to them. And you can bring the love that you have in your heart to someone in trouble, and you can offer it as gently and as kindly as you can. And if they don't accept it, that's up to them. It's up to them. But let me just give you a little scenario. So I'm talking to Jim, whoever, and I say, Jim, I know you're hurt. I know this is a dark time for you, and I want you to know that I love you. Yeah, you love me so. But Jim, can you see that even in the darkness and even in the hurt, that you're a good person, and that you have been a real good person for so many people? Yeah, I don't care about that. It's nonsense. Right now, this is going on, and it's bigger than life, man. You don't get it. You don't get it. Yeah, I do get it. I do get it. I've suffered myself some really devastating defeats and losses. I do get it. And I can tell you that I grew through it. And at the time that I was in there, I didn't feel like I would ever get out of it, but I did get out of it. And you will get out of it. I want you to just know that you're a pure and perfect person and valuable to this universe right now, and that you can make it. That's just, see, that's where I'm going with this, Uta. I'm just saying that it's not my job to lift them out of the darkness. It's my job to offer them what I have. It's up to them to take it or resist it. Thank you, dear.
And our next question comes from Luz Elena, coming, I believe, from Mexico. Luz asks, when someone hurts us, do we have to go through a process to get to forgive them? Or is there a way to go from A to B to forgive the aggravation? Please let me know, as I seem to not know how to do it, I'm assuming perfectly.
Gracias, Luz Elena. Gracias. Y bienvenido. When someone hurts me, the first thing I have to do, in order to get from A to B, the first thing I have to do is ask myself, should I be hurt? Did I deserve this? Am I a person who deserves to be hurt? Or am I a pure and Holy Spirit? Because the universe, God, the Holy Spirit, Great Spirit, has already forgiven me. I was forgiven at the instant that I created anything that's called sin. I was instantly forgiven. That's the nature of God. God is pure love. God's not this monstrous man that strolls around heaven with thunder and lightning crackling off his heels saying, those damn kids, I'm going to send them to hell. Why can't they have man mind? That's not God. God is this giant shining light of love and blessings and music and art and talent and dance and forests and seas and rivers and lakes and abundance and health and joy. That's God. Everything else is what you might call the devil or hell. But God is all love and all goodness. So the question I have to ask myself when somebody hurts me is that right for me? Is this right for me? Because if it's not right for me, it just goes right by. Someone, a great master once told me, if somebody throws a mud ball at you and it hits you, it belongs to you. If they throw a mud ball at you and it misses you, it doesn't belong to you. If it hits you, it's because you think it's yours. Don't think it's yours. When somebody tries to hurt you, you just can't let yourself believe it's yours. If you know that you're a holy, good, and worthy person, that mud ball just goes flying on by. The person that threw it, they have a problem in their life. That troublesome people are people in trouble. That's a troublesome person because they're in trouble. But don't buy it. It's not yours. Muchas gracias, mi tía.
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of our questions for today, Bob. And I just want everybody to know that we have our breakout rooms and our opportunities to pray in a private room with the chaplain coming right up. But now we're going to segue into, I'm going to bring Reverend Bob back to lead us in the prayer for protection and to introduce the peace song.
This prayer for protection was written during the Second World War. And it guided so many Canadian and GIs and British GIs that were fighting. It guided them to remember that they weren't alone. Well, we say it today because we also have some wars going on in our life. And we need to remember who we really are and who God really is. So say this with me, if you will. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Here's our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was made